Most people have no idea what is coming. Robert Kiyosaki's last warning. The author of the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and businessman Robert Kiyosaki returned again with the latest warning and some recommendation to investors. Recently, he warned about the impending collapse of the US dollar and inflation that is going to surge in the United States. He warns about the financial crisis that is coming ahead. According to him, 50% of Americans are going to be wiped out very soon as inflation goes up and the situation becomes very serious. In today's video, we are going to take a deeper look at his statements and warnings. What does he actually mean? And how can you be prepared for the situation? What are his recommendations to deal with such an economic crisis? Before we start, please subscribe to our channel by clicking the red subscribe button below this video and press the bell icon too so as to stay updated with the latest uploads. So let's begin. Well, Robert Kiyosaki is a famous financial author. Back in the 90s, he wrote the personal finance book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and this book is still on the list of best-selling books. He is a renowned financial influencer and is popular among investors for his cash flow model financial freedom recommendations. Mr. Kiyosaki has been worried about economic situations in the world for quite some time. He says the rapid inflation will affect half of the US population because America has stopped producing products and its economy is nothing less than an economy of bubbles. Although Robert Kiyosaki is personally looking forward to the crisis, since he means that when the bubbles burst, everything goes on sale, and that is a great opportunity to buy the really good assets very cheap. He claims that when things went down in 2008, he waited till about 2010 before borrowing $300 million and bought a lot of real estate at bargain prices. Now, Kiyosaki is preparing to do the same. At the same time, he is worried about the ordinary people who have a hard time surviving a massive economic crush that the world is facing. He believes that the world's growing debt, the rise of Russia and China, and geopolitical tension between Ukraine and Russia might spark a major economic slump. Hyperinflation and despair have come, and baby boomers will retire, and the $10 trillion in counterfeit money spending will come to an end. So he means that the world's political leaders need to be prepared to make wise economic and political decisions to assure better financial progress. Robert Kiyosaki criticizes President Joe Biden for being a very weak leader for the US. People think President Donald Trump is a tough guy, and tough guys are always dangerous. But according to Robert Kiyosaki, Joe Biden is a weak leader and the worst leader he has ever seen. Now what's happening is that Russia and China are now ganging up on the US, which creates a very dangerous situation for the US, and it's getting worse. Bad political decisions resulted to the huge energy crisis and sky-high prices on oil. Robert Kiyosaki explains in his tweets and interviews that role of oil is crucial for world economy. Oil provides fertilizer, and fertilizer is what keeps the crops going. This means we are going to see food prices climbing. On top of making food harder to grow, that the cost of getting the food to the supermarket will make the inflation of food extra steep. Robert Kiyosaki predicts that as inflation goes up, half of the population is going to be wiped out. When 50% of the US population is wiped out, the revolution begins, since 40% of Americans don't have $1,000. And if the stock market crashes, the people will have difficult times because all their pension savings and stock are bust. In his recent tweets, Kiyosaki said that it was the start of the biggest economic depression. That is why Robert Kiyosaki says he doesn't have any stocks and recommends to stay away from the stock market right now. He explains, everybody talks about intrinsic value, but what is intrinsic value? We can eat tuna. That's valuable. And if you're starving, you would prefer to have a can of tuna rather than Solana. And that terrifies Mr. Kiyosaki. He's been compared to Rodney Dangerfield. He loves to make fun of things because if you don't do that, then people won't hear you. But he is issuing a very serious warning. He is just saying that we're in serious trouble and it's getting worse. As he tells us, for years, he has been busy buying green canisters of silver coins because the government can't trace them. Silver can be used for money. You can go anywhere in the world with a silver coin and spend it easily. You can go with a gold coin and spend it without being traced. But at the same time, Kiyosaki tweeted he'd rather have a can of tuna than a silver coin because he can eat tuna. he can't eat silver. When people can't afford to eat tuna, we're going to have riots. So it's a whole different type of bubble burst. Another concern Robert Kiyosaki talks a lot about is the US dominance. Kiyosaki agrees that the Ukrainian-Russian war is terrible, but we should not let the politicians and media hide the other war being raged, the US dollar versus the Chinese yuan. The huge power shift is going to China. And that is threatening the whole US economy and the whole world order, since the US dollar is the petrodollar. The US dollar is what everybody trades, not only in food and materials, but also gas and oil are traded in dollars. Until now, all of the countries were forced to trade in dollars. Since everyone around the world needed dollars, the US controlled the world. Now, when Saudi Arabia agreed to accept yuan, the Chinese currency, the US dollar dominance is being threatened. Very threatened. It means China is on a warpath to destroy the US dollar. So Kiyosaki warns, while we are out there trying to save a few dollars, working harder, getting a pay raise for $15 an hour, the reality is the dollar is in trouble. When you add the fact that our own government is raging its own war against the dollar by printing trillions, Kiyosaki asks the main question: why are we saving dollars? This does not make any sense. Personally, Robert Kiyosaki is buying gold, silver, and Bitcoin, but he adds that he always buys at the low price and therefore can afford the market's drastic fluctuations. Well, Robert Kiyosaki is one of those who recently issued financial warnings, and we know he always comes up with some interesting perspectives on the current events. His recommendations can help investors make better financial decisions and be more careful in these uncertain times. Many other renowned investors like Warren Buffett and Ray Dalio have also warned about the financial collapse that the world is facing right now, and Robert Kiyosaki offers his personal view on how to overcome the potential crisis ahead. He keeps an eye on what's happening in America and other parts of the world. He is a great financial educator who can explain complex economic processes in a simple way. So that's all for today's video, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you found it helpful, please give it a like and also share it with your friends. Please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to receive notifications of the latest uploads on our channel for more great content. We will be back to you with another amazing video. Until then, goodbye and peace.